All right. We just witnessed Daring Done. Now, this was a special episode because it actually leaked. Like, shortly after, what was the last episode? Like, instead of uploading the last episode, Hasbro uploaded this episode by accident, so we got to see this one a week early. So, what do you guys think?
I thought it was a fun episode.
It was interesting, yes.
I thought it was an interesting, cute little episode.
So the premise is Daring Do, or AK Yearling, stops writing, so Dash and Pinky go to find out why, and it turns out she's being convinced to stop because everyone hates her. Kind of like
In a town.
The Incredibles sort of storyline, or I think Batman did the same thing about the superhero being hated by the people that they're trying to help or something. It's kind of that storyline.
Yeah, but they did it better.
They did?
Yeah, they did it better in Batman.
Yeah. I mean, it just feels like that was what it was going for, basically. All the people we see in screenshot here in this... what was the place called? I know it's like Egyptian or whatever, but... Was it called something?
I just want to say...
I don't know. Just call it the
Egyptian.
Siberia or something.
Siberia.
Or whatever.
Siberia
I don't
is
know.
Russian.
Shut up.
So one of the first ponies we see upon arriving is this guy who's totally not Dr. Cabaleron. Totally non-suspicious pony number 3 here.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Also,
as everyone watching this should probably know, he's the one who's orchestrating all this.
What an...
Also,
I know that just from like the first few, like right when he was first shown. I was like, yep, that's the villain. That's the villain.
So that's kind of the problem here. Is I mean, I say this a lot, but the show's always been kind of predictable. But usually it at least makes sense. And I think it's fair to say this episode doesn't really make sense at times. A lot of it feels contrived. I mean, I guess Cabaleron's his big evil master plot here kind of makes sense of getting Daring to stop doing what she does. That that makes sense. That's a pretty solid premise. But then they make it all jumbled and confusing. I like the backstory of the screenshots I'm showing now, but then they make it all confusing towards the end about the hope thing, leap of faith. I'm trying
stupid.
I don't understand. I'm trying to understand what they were going for. They obviously missed the mark though, but I don't get it.
It's supposed to teach you if you just have hope, it's fine to jump into a volcano.
It's not a volcano. It's Gak.
Yeah, guys, it's slime. They didn't say it was deadly slime. They just said slime.
They did say slime.
They didn't say deadly slime. They just said slime.
And this is where I feel the episode... I think the episode starts off really well, and then it kind of slowly teeters off into, like, not, in my opinion, not as enjoyable because it gets random and contrived. And here, for example, she could just fly over and save Rainbow Dash, right? But no, there's this magic spell that means you can't fly in the temple, or, like... I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of little things like that in the episode which just don't make sense to me. Like they mention that spell existing in the flashback that I'm showing here, but yeah, I don't know.
It would have been better if they actually explained why. Maybe there was like some golden wing or something stupid preventing them.
Well, no. The Sphinx actually casts a spell to prevent. What was her name? The new antagonist character in the flashback, whatever, to prevent her from flying. The Sphinx did that. So, I mean, they did establish that. And the thing is, I'm sounding really whiny and complaining right now just because there's a few things in this episode that keep it from being really great, and that upsets me. But, putting that aside, I think it was fun to see this new setting. The characters are fun as usual, and, there's still a lot to like.
We have a new pony race now, everybody.
Yeah, are they a race, or is it just like a style?
I don't know.
Like, what do you mean race?
Like the single eyelash thing.
What do you mean what do you mean
the Egyptian?
It's like more of a culture than a race, I guess.
I guess, sort of, yeah.
Don't think
also, did anybody feel like, I don't know, for some reason when the episode started and going on, I felt like, I don't know why they chose Pinkie Pie to be beside Rainbow Dash. Like,
that wasn't really explained, was it? They just happened to be sitting.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no,
I think
I got the.
Would it be more interesting?
Pinkie was reading the newspaper.
Yeah, they just happened to be sitting on a bench together and decided to go on this grand adventure together. It's kind of interesting, actually.
Wouldn't it be
I'm
like
okay with
Twilight
that.
just came along?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I'm totally okay with the show not going out of its way to explain why two characters are going to do an episode together.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I don't know. It's just, but later on, I guess it kind of makes sense. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, that's kind of what's fun about the show is taking two of the random main characters and just pitting them in some setting together. I think that's a lot of fun. I just wish, like I said, this episode comes so close to being like a great, amazing episode in my opinion. I think the writing starts off really good. It has a few funny moments with Pinkie. And then it just goes downhill with all these contrived
Who wrote it?
things. GM Barrow. So she actually did the books, I believe.
Oh, yeah. She did a lot of the chapter books and also wrote a lot of the Daring Do books.
And then she's done episodes in the past, too. So
I think
she also... No, it's funny because she also...
this one.
Oh, only two?
And one of those was that terrible Fluttershy episode.
Oh, no. Wait, which one?
Charlene's in.
No, it's funny because she
Fluttershy
also
leads
wrote
in that
the
one.
she also wrote the Daring Do collection books that I have.
Yeah, so she obviously, she's kind of the one to write for Daring Do, but yeah, I don't know. Just a few small things I can't get past, which might affect my rating. Speaking of which, any last comments before we jump into ratings?
That Deus Ex Machina was terrible, and this
It was pretty stupid.
And pretty much all you said, I agree with. It's just an absolute mess, and honestly, the whole new culture thing and such didn't save it for me at all.
No, there's a lot of cool lore and stuff here. I like the backstory.
Yeah, it could have been a lot more interesting if they'd like to.
Yeah,
maybe,
but
like
it's
a
just
different
all
episode.
I like
brought
the Finks
down.
design. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What we're
brought
gonna have
down
now
by
a bunch of
the
cat
rest.
pony OCs.
Cat
Yeah.
Yep, here we go.
The cat pony OCs are upon us, guys. Watch out. All right, let's jump into ratings and reviews. Magma, you want to start us off?
Okay, so I found it pretty terrible, in my opinion. The whole mess. I just don't like it, and it totally brought down everything that I slightly liked about this episode. 3.5 out of 10.
Ooh. Whoa, is that like our lowest ever in one of these reviews?
I don't know. Maybe.
3.5. All right.
Wait, Tootsie hasn't rated anything lower yet?
I don't know.
No, I gave one episode a 2 because I thought it was stupid. But I forgot what episode it was.
All right, Sonic Crew.
I mean, like at the beginning part was like getting really interesting, but as it got soon to the end, it was kind of a letdown. Like the whole culture thing or whatever, like the Phoenix and like the whole backstory of like the culture. What's the story about? Like what's this?
It was mainly about the statue.
By the way, I'm here
About
now.
the
I'm at my
statue.
Yeti and everything. I can actually talk.
Okay,
No
thank
one's
you.
driving.
But I don't know. I don't hate it, but it just felt kind of boring to me. But I'm gonna give this one another 6. This last episode, I gave this one a 6.
That's
Wait,
sick.
Mac,
Yeah.
what was yours?
He gave it a
I
3.
gave him a 3.5.
3.5. What is wrong with you ponies?
All right, it's good you're here though, because you might balance things out. But
I
Tootsie,
absolutely love this episode. I have a lot of things to say. 'cause
All right.
you did
What's
really
wrong
great.
with you, Turtle?
Tootsie, you're
Okay.
next.
Fine. Ow! I dropped my fidget spinner.
Don't
What?
drop
Get
your
that
fidget
out of
spinner.
here. No.
No, this episode I
You
thought it
also has
was.
10 fidget spinners.
No, this episode I thought it was pretty enjoyable. Like I didn't.
Wait, since you liked it?
Yeah, I didn't see.
Everything's
it.
wrong.
Turtle,
Everything's wrong.
Did you
Oh,
forget?
listen. Like that.
Hey, Tootsie
I thought the
still has
episode-
non-popular opinion, so it's
No, I
like
thought the episode was. I thought the episode was decent. Yeah, I had problems, but I liked how we got to see a new town. It's good to see Daring Do, although I didn't really agree with why she literally just. I didn't like how she literally just gave up writing because she screwed up a town. I mean, that just seemed kind of. I mean, in the last time we saw Daring Do, she destroyed an entire temple. So what makes a little statue any different?
It's not
It's
happening.
not like there's anybody living near a temple. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
The temple is
Oh,
not
if-
culturally
so-
different.
So she destroys a temple, it's perfectly fine. But if
Sure.
she destroys a
If she
statue,
destroys a
and-
statue at a
Destroy
town,
a
that
temple,
everybody's-
nobody bats an eye. Destroy a stupid statue, everybody loses their minds.
I know. Another thing I did not like was obviously I do not like it when I can easily just tell that's the villain.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
villain.
they weren't
It's
really
the one pony
hiding
that's
it.
covered up. He's the villain.
Mhm.
And then, like, it would have been nice if it was something different. Like, I was thinking, I was like, oh, I think it would have been better if we got, like, a new character, kind of like a mayor, who, I don't know, who, like, actually liked Daring, or, I don't know, something stupid rather than just cabble around. Like, okay, he's the villain. You can tell just by the cloak and the voice, blah, blah, blah. Another thing I didn't like, okay, I like the town in general. I like seeing their little
You like
ancient
every town.
Egypt and the little carvings, or how the animation was done with, I don't know what that was, or the animation that was done kind of like explaining the whole history of the statue and the temple in general, so it didn't feel entirely pointless because it actually went into it. But I do admit the townspeople were kind of, well, stupid.
You stupid.
No, they were stupid just because
They
it
were.
was. No, they were just super easy to convince. Daring Do is not a bad pony. I mean, look, she saved your town. It's like, yeah, you're right. And the guy says, no, she stole your stuff. Remember that. It was like, oh yeah, like a bird.
That's just like a cartoon trope. All background ponies are
I
like
know,
that.
but it was
Yeah.
just- it was
It's a
just
kid's
stupid.
show. Remember that.
Another thing I liked, thing I liked was I thought the Finks had a really awesome design. I will admit the stupid climax where Rainbow Dash got tied up in broad daylight, where everyone just disappeared or wasn't listening. She got kidnapped in broad daylight. No one really cared except for Pinkie Pie and Daring Do, and that was it.
Well, that's the norm in some countries.
Don't look at it. I'll just keep going. But I will admit it was really stupid on how they rescued her. Pinkie Pie literally just took a leap of faith. Oh, I'm sorry, a leap of hope.
No,
so
she
they
said
could
leap of
bounce
faith, I
She
think.
said it was leap of faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Yeah,
going
but she
Assassin's Creed
literally
Origins.
So what if you have to save a friend and you can't swim and you hop into a lake, you just have to have faith that you're gonna swim? Like, okay.
Yeah. If you have faith, it's okay if you risk killing yourself.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, it's just stupid. But anywho,
Put a coin in the coffer.
I did like at the very end of the episode how Daring Do actually took responsible for her actions and just gave him money to repair everything. So I thought it was a very nice thing for a character, but it didn't really matter. But considering we're probably not going to see her again for like a while.
Wow, we should probably just rename this to Tootsie Livestream Reviews.
I'm sorry. You could have cut me off at any
No,
time.
I didn't want to
Shut
cut
up.
you off. If you have something to say it. Just all right.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to ramble. But
No, it's all right. It's all right. Do you have a
Rambles
rating?
quite a bit. Okay, if you
I
guys
give, the,
thought
I
Tootsie
give
Ram-
the episode like a 6 out of 10.
All right.
Okay, if you thought Tootsie rambled, I have to make up for lost time.
All right, go for it.
So, okay, the first thing I want to say is the leap of faith thing. I feel like they were trying to justify feeling Pinky keen with that kind of, like, that kind of just was the leap of faith idea, the hope idea. Or
I
just
thought they were
believing
going
in
Assassin's
something.
Creed on us.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to get to, was I got a little bit of an Assassin's Creed vibe. I'm not sure if it's because of the
Assassin's
leap of
Creed
faith.
jumps at a specific spot, though, not
But,
just randomly.
but the newest
No,
game is
hold
called
on.
Origins.
There's-
Triggering.
Hold on, I have 3 ties that I've at least
Alright.
worked out in the past 30 seconds. So, Assassin's Creed, there's the leap of faith reference, which that's blah. There's the Egypt taking place part, that's also blah. But the first thing I noticed was who was it? Caballeron was
Mhm.
like wearing the hood and shiny. Immediately reminded me of the heralds from Assassin's Creed: The Bride. I don't know
Oh,
why.
yeah, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, like essentially they're just in the street saying, "Oh, the main character is so bad, he's so evil. Everyone, you should all hate him."
Yep.
Different resolution, sure. In here, it was, "Oh, this is actually the villain." In Assassin's Creed, you just pay them money or kill them,
Or killed him.
or kill them. That's an option. Second thing I wanted to say, that someone was talking. I think Little Shy was talking about. He wasn't sure if they were a new race. In terms of Earth, Egyptian is a race. So I guess this would be a new race of ponies.
Earth
technically.
ponies were slaves in an ancient pony.
All right. So the other thing I want to say is this episode felt like it was doing a lot, but it was also doing a lot of reaching. Like it was accomplishing a lot story-wise, but it was also like trying to go a little too far, and it didn't really land what it was doing. Like the new mythology that was introduced, that was really cool mythology, but it wasn't really explained super well. It was okay, but it wasn't amazing. It wasn't like, oh, this seems like this has been rooted into the lore forever. No, this is like, okay, what's the monster of the week? And that wasn't. I didn't think that was great. What else did I have to play? Oh, Daring Do kind of giving up on being Daring Do at like the drop of a hat because some random town didn't like her. Also seemed a bit too much. Like if it were
Stupid.
multiple towns that they had been going to over and over, that would have made more sense. But that might have been cut for time or something. Like it just seemed a little too focused on the one region. If it were like, oh, the entire south of Equestria doesn't like her at all because she thinks she's destroying everything, that would have been more of a reason for her. But it was just this one town. At least that's what we saw. And the fact that they were so eager to trust some random hooded pony that was saying, "Oh, Daring Do did this." It's like, who are you? Oh, right, you're a villain. As Tootsie said, that was kind of easy to guess. Okay, so I think I'm done with all of my lost time that I had to make up for. I'm going to say, Macma, because you gave it such a low rating, I'm just going to spite you and give it an 8.
Whoa, an 8 out of 10 for a
Burned.
turtle. All right,
Sorry to
I suppose-
make-
I liked
Turtle, Turtle, you complained about it a lot and then gave it a rating, which makes no sense in
No,
context of
that's-
your complaint. You're the new Tootsie.
That's no, that's
That's
bronies in a
pretty-
nutshell. This episode was
Yeah.
horrible. 10 out of 10. All right.
Sure.
As I
So
said, I'm
we're
doing despite him.
representing
I really did like it though, so that's
Alright.
why I gave it a high rating.
So my opinion, I said most of what I have to say already, but it feels kind of like it's jumbling around too many different things. Like it has that backstory, mythology, lore stuff, which I think is awesome, and it's got Rainbow Dash being captured. They have to save her. I like that concept, and they got the lava slime stuff. That's cool, but combine everything together, it just doesn't feel like it works together. Like they were trying to make the leap of faith thing work with the Sphinx backstory thing, and it doesn't really make any sense just jumping randomly into the deadly slime or whatever. I don't know. I cannot wrap my head around that. The feeling in Pinky King 1, I think Lauren Faust actually issued like a statement on what she was trying to go for with that episode, and it makes sense. I'm not going to explain it now. It's very controversial, but it makes sense. This episode, I cannot wrap my head around it. I cannot make sense of why they would just jump in there and hope that some random, like a Deus Ex Machina, like Magma said, would happen. That like tears down the entire episode for me. The concept of Cabalaron using townspeople against Daring Do sounds like a pretty solid concept. If they just stuck with that, I think it would have been a great episode. But just a few things here and there affected my enjoyment of the episode, mainly that leap of faith aspect. And these ratings are mostly first impressions. I might find more to like later on. That's always my disclaimer. And also, my ratings are not objective. They're just like my enjoyment of the episode. Like, I was kind of mostly just annoyed by this episode. So because of that, I am giving this one a mere 6.5 out of 10.
Change mine to a 10.
All right,
I
so
like how
ready?
you had to clarify that your rating
I
is
know.
not like your
I
official
feel
thing,
bad.
But yeah, we're left like right here. It's like, oh yeah, we're here to suffer.
I feel bad, like, always being
What's
so
that?
critical
Little
of
Shy
the show.
nitpicks episodes?
Yeah,
What?
that's kind of my thing. Because
Never.
every week we get comments of people saying we're being too whiny and complaining, and it's like, well,
We're
I
not.
don't
We're
know.
not whining. We are complaining.
We're not your
Like
typical
to hear
bronies.
whining.
All right, so our average, we don't have Drummer Shy to give us a drum roll, but I guess
No, you're not drummer shy.
we don't have them at all. But all right, our average for the Little Shot live stream rating of Daring Done with a question mark is actually it's a 6.
Sweet.
Five, 6.
No, well, all right, it's because there was 5 of us. I saw 2 different numbers there.
No, you just bumped up that rating.
Wait, didn't Drummer Shy give it a 5?
I didn't include
He
his
did.
because he wasn't present.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise,
It wasn't
otherwise-
in our presence.
All right, so yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. This episode we didn't do it live just because we saw this one like a day or two after it leaked, and it hasn't even aired yet. So I guess we're still kind of early in that sense. But thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, Internet.